Hey y'all, what is up? Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. Really just depends if you're new here or not. In the last video that we did, we kind of touched on the censorship and these new rules that are coming into place with not only YouTube, but other platforms. And the censorship is basically coming from this lawsuit that is currently ongoing with TikTok regarding the certain accounts that pushed certain unhealthy things weight-wise, and they're starting to crack down on pretty much all the platforms just to try to get ahead of a lawsuit happening to them. Now, because this lawsuit is touching on harmful content, shit algorithms basically promoting you very unhealthy content, whether it be pro-anorexia content or disorder content or even being content, a lot of people are starting to get demonetized who pushed these certain forms of content in these niches. Eugenia Cooney is one of the most prevalent ones over on TikTok who's been mentioned in this lawsuit. And again, I just want to clarify, she is not being sued directly from TikTok or people, and she is not suing TikTok. She has just been mentioned in this lawsuit, given the content that she's been allowed to monetize and post, and not only be allowed to be monetized and post on that platform, but be promoted so heavily by that platform and pushed into a lot of people's algorithm. Now, YouTube is cracking down more when it comes down to this disordered content. I have noticed over the past few years, especially around the 2023 era, they started to get more strict with it. If you would post blatantly obvious content, they would flag it, they would remove it. But if you would post content that's kind of borderline and like walking the line of it being too much or too little, they would just give that little notification at the bottom, you're not alone, and give you hotlines and resources. If y'all have been on this channel for a minute now, y'all have probably seen over the past year and a half, 2 years, I have struggled with getting around this multiple times. Even though it's not me posting this content and it's just me talking about it, whether it's for educational purposes or just spreading awareness or simply just to give commentary on it, I have had so many flags on this channel because community guidelines and terms of service are at the point now where they're like, okay, we can accept it to a degree, but we're trying to cut back on this form of content, which is crazy to say because there's still so many channels and so many creators on this platform specifically who are pushing pro-anorexia content and eating disorder content. Today, I want to talk about somebody who has recently been demonetized, and they are feeling the effects more than ever from this shift and this change in the terms of service and community guidelines and the censorship that has been put in place recently, mostly from this TikTok lawsuit, I believe. Like I said, they have been getting more strict on it, but I feel like this lawsuit was kind of a wake-up call for multiple platforms. Like, yeah, we are money hungry and greedy, but we're gonna have to pay a massive lawsuit if we don't start to fix and abide by our own fucking rules. So, Amberlynn Reid from Girl World has recently been demonetized, and she's pretty bummed about it. Now, she has been documenting her failed weight loss journey for more than a decade now, and she herself has even admitted in a live stream that she did, where she did talk about this demonetization, that she used to post more along the lines of sort of eating content, and even said herself, yeah, I kind of blurred my own lines back then, but recently I've just been doing vlogs and chilling, so I don't understand why I'm currently being affected by this if this is content I posted years ago. And I've talked about this before. When it comes down to YouTube and how they update their community guidelines in terms of service, it's something that you, the content creator, once you get accepted into the program to be a monetized creator, once they update their rules, you have to read them and you have to abide by them. And this means if you have to look back through your content to make sure that a video isn't crossing the line, it's just something you have to do. And if you have older content that maybe you possibly forgot about, that's slipping through the cracks of your brain where you did mention certain things that are no longer acceptable, that video could still get flagged due to the updated rules and guidelines. But this is going to be a discussion we're going to have a lot more in depth very soon. But I do want to go ahead and get into this video. But before we do, I do want to play a quick clip from Cinnamon Toast Ken's channel because he dives into the discussion of her actually becoming demonetized and her journey on YouTube in general.
Yeah, when it comes to YouTube, like with this massive case, they've already taken like preemptive changes. You can report videos for like suicide, self-harm, and eating. Every creator eating in an unhealthy manner or using it as content is now at risk of having their content demonetized or removed or their whole channel going away, right?
Yeah.
So some of the people we covered, like Nick Avocado, of course he's
He's
out,
changed
I guess.
now,
He's changed, yeah. Like his old videos though, the mukbangs, then Amberlynn Reid, her since Mary's all in the girl world, she's got notes here for us that's like viewers of ALR, which is Amberlynn Reid, are claiming that at least 25 of her old videos have disappeared from her channel. And some of the viewers are reporting her old content themselves and have posted screenshots showing exactly which videos are being removed or restricted. And it's like,
Oh.
There it is, like suicide, self-harm, eating disorders, like they've been going through and getting stuff. And like one of the videos that's in the screenshot is titled "I Am Done," which is this video. And if you notice down at the bottom, "You Are Not Alone," National Alliance for Eating Disorders. They give you the, you can call them up right there.
Wow. She's got MyFitnessPal. In the description.
Oh yeah, you can track her steps on there.
Yeah.
It's been age restricted. I'm glad that they put the hotline on there, just like the suicide hotline on those videos they put up there. But I also have like another opinion of like putting the hotline up there as like a Band-Aid. Like, like when a content creator gets in trouble for like talking about suicide in like a crappy way, they're like, their apologies, like, if you have these feelings, call this hotline. Like stating what the hotline is, like makes it all better all of a sudden.
Right.
Yeah, it's like, okay, whatever.
So her channel has been affected by this to the extent where it has been demonetized, and she ended up going on a live stream where she talked about it for a little bit. She talked a little bit about her journey, how this has been her job for 13 years. And I want to react to that. Yeah, I know. A lot of y'all are excited for me to get into Girl World. I tried to do it one time before, I think like once or twice on this channel, and a lot of people gave me shit like, you're not up to date, or like, you got this information wrong or this wrong, and I was like, girl, like, I don't watch this as heavy as y'all do. I feel like Girl World is like one of those topics where like, there's so much lore that I'm unfamiliar with that if I would sit down to do a video about it, it would take me like 2 weeks binging content every single day, like just to get caught up to the smallest degree when it comes down to the lore behind these individuals. So I just want to cover this topic today. If it goes well, maybe I'll cover it again in the future. If there's any updates or like if they get their channels back or something, I don't know. But anyways, let's look at this live stream because she says a lot of things in it that I really want to talk about.
I really don't want to cry in this live stream, but you know what? I might. I've been having people tell me, like, be transparent. So it's hard for me to be transparent on YouTube. That's been very obvious for me for a very long time. That immediately when I turn on a camera or I go live stream or whatever it may be, I kind of like turn into this robotic version of myself. And it comes natural. Genuinely, it comes natural. I instantly know exactly what it's not even that I know exactly, it's just my body knows exactly how to act because I have such a wall up. Say you have a friendship, say you are in a relationship, say you are, it's a cousin, it's an uncle, it doesn't matter. There's a coworker, there's someone in your life that used to bring you joy. But then every time you were around them, they would nitpick the way you spoke, what you looked like. You weren't crying enough, you were crying too much. You weren't eating enough, you're eating too much. You're not supposed to be doing that. Actually, every traumatic thing that you tell me is actually a lie. Oh, you're fat. Oh, you're gross. Oh, you don't shower. Oh, eventually, the way you are around them is not going to be how you once were. I've had a lot of people say that I'm not the same person I was when I first started YouTube, and that's the truth. I can handle a lot. I can handle a lot. A lot of people are like, Amberlynn, you wouldn't be able to join the LCU because all the hate you get. I would get less hate there than I would here. I know I have support. I know there are people who genuinely care, who genuinely like me, who genuinely see me for who I am. I know that. But reaction channels have created a environment, a safe space, a community to literally breed and feed off of hating me. And this has led to a lot of bad things in my life.
Yeah, I started to feel bad just a little bit, but here's the thing. She has lied so many times, and she got clocked on all these times that she's lied in the past, so it kind of does give the viewers a little bit of discretion when it comes down to watching her. A lot of people are kind of ready for her to lie, they're ready to call it out. There's so many other commentary channels that literally base their content on clocking all of her lies and finding other clips that kind of, debunk certain things that she said to be true, but turns out it was a lie. So I feel like you kind of do it to yourself if you're a content creator and you're lying so constantly, and then people start to call you out and clock you for it. You can't cry to the internet then and be like, oh, everybody paints me out to be the bad guy, and people just thrive creating reaction channels to talk shit about me and da-da-da. And, you know, you kind of at that point do it to yourself. But also when you're a content creator, you have to have a thicker skin. People are going to dislike you because they just dislike you, or there's no reason to dislike you, but they're trolls and they're going to talk shit. It is what it is. It's the internet. But you're always, it doesn't matter who you are. We have seen it time and time again. There's always going to be somebody out there who does like you for you, genuinely. And you kind of just have to, like, play with that, you know? You're always going to have fans. You're always going to have haters. You just got to, you know, live your life and call it that. Call it GG's. Now, I'm not going to lie. I have seen a lot of, you know, short clips and commentary videos when it does come down to Amberlynn Reid to an extent. And yeah, some of them are very hateful. And I say this a lot, there are ways to talk about somebody and to get your point across without being a bully, without being hateful. And I honestly feel like a lot of channels have really, really good points that get missed because of the tone and the undertone that is coming across in the content. It just seems hateful. It seems like it's bullying. So the good point kind of gets swept under the rug because all you see at that point is the negative tone. But when you're somebody like Amberlynn Reid and you've quite literally built your entire platform off of lies, scandals, and dramas, you really have nobody but yourself to blame at the end of the day.
A lot. Genuinely. And I have gotten through it every single time. I was able to get through it. I always told myself that no matter what happens, I can get through it. And I was right. And I was right. I always did. I put myself through all of this because it was my job. It was my passion. I love YouTube. I love making content. I love talking to you guys. I love talking. I don't know if it's, I just like to hear myself talk. I don't know what it is. Like, why is anyone on YouTube? We enjoy this type of job. We enjoy talking about ourselves, whether it's narcissistic or whatever it may be. Or maybe it's just a little girl inside of me. No one ever listened to me as a kid, as a teenager. And then finally thousands of people wanted to listen to me. Like, whatever your reason is for watching me, you've watched me. And I've been on YouTube for 13 years. 13. And I have had some major ebbs and flows on YouTube, for sure. And I've tried my very hardest to share my journey, but do it the right way. I have not uploaded an actual video in like half of a year, I've done just live streams. I have not talked about EDs. I have not really talked about my weight. I have not done anything like that. That's what my channel was for the longest time, though. It was genuinely all of that type of stuff. But that was years ago. Mukbang, who is she? I haven't filmed one of those since I was with Feline. And then I got mass reported. Mass reported hard. Like it was crazy. I'm confused. I'm confused about, say you're driving, right? And you're driving on a road that goes 60 miles per hour. And then they realize, actually, no, I think this road should be 45. So you're going down it, 45. And then a cop pulls you over. And they're like, last month you were going 60 down this, so I'm going to give you a ticket. And you're like, but wait a minute. I was allowed to then, though. Like, I was allowed to. That's what it feels like to me. That's what it genuinely feels like to me.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, this is a really ridiculous argument for this situation because YouTube, the TOS, the community guidelines, they changed a lot. Just from me being a content creator when I first started, there's so many new rules and restrictions, and a lot of things that I could say when I first started, I cannot say now. I can't even get away with using censored terms for certain things I want to talk about now because they crack down. It is what it is. Times change and algorithms change with it. Rules, restrictions are added. And it just kind of is what it is. And just because last month you got away with doing something does not mean that now with these new rules and regulations, which yes, they were updated, I got the notification at my YouTube studio, you have to abide by them, babes. And sometimes YouTube will do the nicer thing and they will go through your older content for you and place the restrictions naturally and be like, hey, this is no longer in set with our TOS and CGLs, so we are going to go ahead and just flag this, just so you know. But there are certain occasions where they miss a few videos of yours, so you have to go back yourself and manually check to make sure it is up to date, basically, that old video is up to date with basically the new conduct for the community guidelines. You have to make sure that you're following the rules, even if it's in older content. There's going to be certain clips you have to take out or certain words you're going to have to censor or remove. Yeah, it is what it is. Times change. So the fact that she's bringing up this argument like, well, I was allowed to do this last month, so now that they're flagging me, I just find that crazy. It's ridiculous. Not really. You know, I'm really curious for how this is going to affect a lot of channels, not just the content creators such as Amberlynn Reid or Eugenia Cooney, but workout channels, healthier channels where they're showing healthier recipes, or channels that talk about body image, not necessarily to the degree of ordered eating or anything, but I feel like there is going to be so many channels that are getting flagged, whether it's falsely getting flagged or rightfully getting flagged. I can understand where she's coming from, being bummed out about the situation, because like she said, this has been her job for 13 years, so I think she kind of got used to the easiness of it, the passive income of it. She hasn't had to do anything but literally film herself and her life and her failed weight loss journey for over a decade. And that's her way of living. But again, if you're working a 9 to 5, just like you would as a content creator and you create content, if you work a normal job like your 9 to 5 or you work for a company, if they have a new dress code, you're going to have to abide by that. Just because you wore a short skirt yesterday does not mean that today, babe, they expect it to be at the knee. You're not going to get away with it if you come in and it's anything above. You're going to have to change with the times. You're going to have to update your content. You're going to have to look back through older things to make sure that it is currently abiding by the CGL again and the TOS. It happens. And I just don't understand how she's crying about it right now. I mean, yeah, like I said, I understand why she'd be upset, but you kind of did this to yourself, babe.
I'm being punished for things that I posted years ago. I am going to obviously gracefully accept YouTube's decision, but I've been on here for 13 years. This has been my job for 13 years. This has been my constant for 13 years. I have been so beyond, for the lack of a better term, blessed. I'm grateful. But everything happens for a reason. Everything. Life is genuinely about yin yang. Good things happen and bad things. Positive things happen and negative things. And that's always how it will be. It's like a part of me regrets sharing my journey as someone who struggles, just genuinely struggles as a human. It's like I'm too afraid to say anything. Because as we speak, YouTube is changing a lot. And it's like, at the time, I genuinely thought I was doing what was right. I was just sharing my thoughts, my life, my struggles. Whether I was wrong or right or this or that, like, I never intentionally meant to do something I wasn't supposed to.
Now, again, I do feel bad for her because I'm human. I can't help but feel bad for people if they're going through something. And losing a job after 13 years would be such a massive thing to make an adjustment for. Now she's going to have to get a new job. Will she even be able to get a new job? What job will she even be able to get? But at the same time, there's that part of me that's like, well, babe, you kind of did this to yourself. And especially when she was talking about how people just haven't been the kindest to her and people are creating communities where they gather and hate on her to hate on her. That's not the case. She quite literally built her entire online career off of failed weight loss journey, dramas, scandals, lies, speculations. Yo, she did this to herself. And now her cookie castle is starting to crumble and she's crying online now that she's demonetized. Now what's crazy is I kind of saw her being one of the ones who was coming up to be demonetized when I saw that YouTube was starting to get stricter with their own rules over here. And I just couldn't help but think to myself, it is only a matter of time before this girlie is crying on a stream talking about how she misses YouTube and she don't know what she's finna do. And here we are. But she's another creator who has built their entire platform again for over a decade now on disordered eating. And it was bound to happen. So, the TikTok lawsuit again is really setting the precedent for what's going to be acceptable for content, not only now, but the past content, what's going to be removed from the platforms, and what's going to be allowed to be posted in the future. And again, censorship is a very slippery slope, so I do feel like there's going to be a lot of experimental bans that might not necessarily last, because I think that the platforms are going to have kind of a hard time differentiate. Why can't I say that word? I think the platforms are going to have a hard time picking and choosing what content creators are actually going to be doing content that would be considered disordered eating, or the content that's just somebody existing and sharing their lives. And I do feel like this is going to be kind of a slippery slope. It's going to be an experimental process just until they start to get the hang of things, but I'm here for the journey. I want to see what happens, and again, if you're a content creator, pay attention to those community guidelines and the terms of service, because just because they are updating does not mean it's affecting only the future content, but your past content. Do y'all remember when Nikocado Avocado was like, I am one step ahead? He was right. He was one step ahead because he did his weight loss journey. He stopped the mukbangs and he came back a skinny mini, and he don't have to worry about this. He has evaded the ban from ordered eating content. Wow, who would have thunk it, you know? But I want to know y'all's opinion about this Amberlynn Reid situation. Do y'all think that rightfully so she should have been demonetized? Do y'all feel bad for her? What are y'all's thoughts and opinions? I really want to know in the comment section down below. And like I said, this isn't typically a topic that I cover. I don't talk about girl world that often, but I know a lot of y'all do enjoy that side of the internet. And just given the lawsuit, the censorships, all the updated TOS and community guidelines that are being put in place on multiple platforms now, just because of this massive lawsuit that's going on, we're going to have a lot more content talking about creators who are getting demonetized based off of what they've been posting. So as always, I hope you guys did enjoy the video. Let me know what you guys thought about it in the comment section down below. Feel free to hit that like button, hit the share button, if you will. It's totally free to do it. I have not been posting for a little bit. I've been posting on and off, super irregular. God forbid you take a little minor break from YouTube. When you come back and start uploading again, they're like, we actually don't remember who you are, so we don't know how to promote you. Just GG's, good luck. And it's it's a fun thing. But yeah, let me know in the comment section what y'all thought about this video. Do y'all think that she has been demonetized, rightfully so, or do y'all feel bad? I want to know. And I will catch you in the next damn video. All right, bye.